It's with a heavy heart. The City of Pikeville has announced that Officer Scotty Hamilton was shot and killed tonight in the line of duty.
Just something you just can't wrap yourself around.
His family needs your support. Our police family needs your support. And we're thankful for the great turnout that we have tonight.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley reporting live from downtown Pikeville. It was a day filled with mourning as a community said goodbye and laid to rest Officer Scotty Hamilton. He grew up here, played sports here, and worked at a bank before joining the police force. Tonight we honor Officer Hamilton, and in this newscast we will not mention those charged in connection with his murder. We have team coverage beginning with his emotional funeral service at the Eastern Kentucky Exposition Center. Thousands showed up to show their support today, and WYMT's Taylor Frost joins me now, and she was inside the Expo Center for the service. Taylor.
Yeah, Steve, like you said, it was emotional, and thousands showed up to honor Officer Hamilton's life, and many songs were sung and stories were told. It was truly a life well lived.
But this week, tragedy became personal.
Moved by the sound of his voice.
Think of the words like father, husband, son, brother, and friend. You can think of Scotty and who he was when he was not in uniform, a job that I'm sure he took a lot of pride in.
Throw it all, my eyes are on you. And throw it all, it is well.
There was no finer man. Thanks, Scotty.
He had integrity like no other. He was honest, dedicated, and sincere. He never questioned his courage. He never backed down from a challenge. And he always was the first to step up.
We lost a dedicated, positive role model that worked tirelessly every day to ensure that you were safe.
He loved his wife and he loved his life.
My most beloved memory of Scotty was the night that Brinley was born. In the hours leading to her birth, I'd never seen him so nervous, excited, and scared.
And throw it all, my eyes are on.
I love you, Scotty. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for giving me the best image out there to model myself after, but I will never come close to being able to fill your shoes.
I say, who is Scotty Hamilton? He is going to be a part of each and every one here today.
So I just want to say thank you for honoring my husband, and thank you for remembering him. Thank you for being his friend, his brother. And just thank you so much.
My soul and trust in him, the waves
And that was Scotty's widow you heard from there at the very end. Such an emotional service. And during that service, Fred Rogers was quoted. You probably heard this. He said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You always find people who are helping.'" And that really is the beauty of living here in the mountains. This week, county lines blended, and we were all Pike Countyans. So many have shown their support for the Pikeville community, and they're going to need it more in the days to come. Now, here's a little more information about Officer Scotty Hamilton we have gathered this week. He served the city of Pikeville at the police department right behind me for about 12 years. Officer Hamilton played baseball and football at Shelby Valley High School, where he graduated from. Hamilton, as you heard from just a moment ago, leaves behind a wife, Chelsea. They just celebrated their 5th anniversary. Scotty and Chelsea also had a daughter 9 months ago. They named Brinley Elizabeth. Now, following Officer Hamilton's funeral, his procession ended at the Pikeville Cemetery, which is just above us here. We can actually still see them working up there as we speak. His casket, draped in an American flag, sat as he was honored with the playing of bagpipes and a 21-gun salute. Officer Hamilton's wife was handed a folded American flag, and we heard his last call.
This is the last call for Officer Scotty Hamilton. Officer Hamilton served with the Pikeville Police Department and the citizens of Pikeville with honor, integrity, courage, and distinction for the past 12 years. Officer Hamilton is in for the lifetime of the Pikeville City Cemetery. God bless brother. We'll take it from here.
Now, just a couple of streets over from the Pikeville Police Department sits a memorial for fallen officers. It only bears 2 names right now from Pikeville PD, but of course soon Scotty's name will be etched in history as everyone who knew him keeps his memory alive. You know, a piece of scripture that really stuck out to us this week is Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Scotty will now be protecting his community from above. And throughout the city, you could see the love for Officer Hamilton. Here is one picture that stuck out to us. The city put up flags with a thin blue line on light poles along the city streets. And I'm joined now by WYMT's Corey McCauley. And Corey, it was quite a sight to see people from so many places here today, as far away as Canada, New York, Mississippi, and Chicago, just to name a few.
That's right, Steve. Whether it was 30 minutes away or 3 hours away, or like you mentioned, even further, there were hundreds of officers here in downtown Pikeville that came to the funeral just to pay their respects and honor Scotty Hamilton and to support his friends and family through this difficult time. And I spoke with some of those officers who explained what the special bond they share of being an officer is. Surrounded by his brothers and sisters in uniform. Hundreds with different law enforcement agencies were there to support Hamilton's family and friends as they say goodbye.
The run he was doing is so routine, something that we all do. It's something that everybody's been through. It could happen to any one of us, and your heart goes out to his family, his department. And
Paul Maskey, a Jeffersontown police officer, says Hamilton's death hits close to home.
It felt like it was one of us. You know, we're all brothers and sisters in blue. We all wear this uniform and this badge and do the same job. And
for officers, they know the danger of their job.
That it can happen to anyone at any time, no matter what you're doing, what kind of call you're on, or where you're at dealing with it. It can happen to anyone at any time.
Their jobs bond each officer in a special way.
It's something that you have to wear the badge to kind of understand it. We're all connected because of the service that we provide and the dangers that we face.
That bond helping each other through this difficult time. In Pike County, Corey McCauley, WYMT Mountain News.
As Officer Hamilton's body sat in the Expo Center, he was never alone. As people came and went to pay their respects, the Honor Guard stood by his side. Members of several police agencies from Pikeville were among those Guard members. Now, following the funeral, people lined the streets of Pikeville. Police flanked either side of Officer Hamilton's hearse as the procession took him on one final patrol of the city. WYMT's Krista Frost is live to share that side of this celebration of life. Krista?
Since about 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Kenneth Robinson made sure he and his family had a good spot to say their final goodbyes.
I've known him since he was a little boy, so when he was born. His grandmother and my dad were brother and sisters. So
for as long as Robinson, Scotty's cousin, can remember, serving the community is all Scotty wanted.
That's what he always wanted to do. Him and his older brother, too. That's what they wanted to do.
Scotty's passion for serving was seeable beyond Pikeville.
It was about a 5-hour trip. It's really nothing. I mean, we're going to go wherever we have to show our support around the nation for fallen officers.
As Scotty makes his way past the Pikeville police station one last time before making his way to his final resting place. I talked to a lot of people who were not able to make it into the funeral because it was just so jam-packed, so they actually watched the funeral on their phones instead, waiting for the procession to start. Now, some of those people told me that they actually knew Scotty because he arrested them, but they said he was just such a good officer, such a good man, they had to show their respects somehow. Live in Pike County, Krista Frost, WYMT Mountain News.
Krista, thank you. Now, the day following Scotty's murder, Wildcat Warehouse in Pikeville shared a shirt they designed in his memory. People lined up the following day to get one. The shirt reads, "Husband, Father, Hero, Integrity, Service, Courage." You can still get one at the store in Pikeville and online. They cost $15, and all the proceeds go to his wife and daughter. We also want to let you know about a trust fund that's been set up for his daughter. You can make donations to the Brinley Elizabeth Hamilton Scholarship Fund at Community Trust Bank. The address is P.O. Box 2947, Pikeville, Kentucky 41502. WINT's Taylor Frost joining me now again, and we are in front of the memorial that's been set up now for quite a while since this tragedy happened earlier this week, where people continue. Somebody came by and left a rose just as we were going on the air. It's been like that all
week, yeah.
Yeah, you've been in this community. You're not from Eastern Kentucky. You've been here a little more than a year. Tell me what you have seen from this community in the last week that's really stuck out to you.
Steve, I could tell you so much right now, but it has just been an outpouring of support. Everywhere you look, you see blue, from this memorial right here to the streets of downtown Pikeville. It's just amazing how everybody has come out and, you know, they have worn their hearts on their sleeves because this has impacted so many people. You might not have known Scotty, or you might have known him really well, but it impacts everyone here. And so, you know, going through this, it's just amazing to hear the stories, because everybody will tell you how great of a guy Scotty Hamilton was, that he loved his family, he loved his daughter, he was so proud of his daughter. Steve, I can't tell you how many times I heard that this week. And he loved working for the city of Pikeville, and it's just amazing. And
you did get to meet Scotty, I understand, a few times since you work over here in the Pikeville area.
A few times. I didn't know him well, but I did get to meet him a few times.
And I feel like I know him, even though I don't remember meeting him. Our paths may have crossed through the years, but I don't remember meeting him. But I feel like I do after today. And just talk about the incredible support this community has given the officers' family this week.
Oh yeah, whether it be the scholarship fund, the t-shirts you just mentioned, everybody is in blue because they want to support one of their own. And you know, even if you didn't meet Scotty Hamilton, you feel like you know him after this week, because everybody's been quick to share their stories and quick to remind everybody what a great guy he was and how much he was loved in this community. And I've gotten to talk to friends of the family and even family members, and they're just blown away. And so I really believe that Pikeville's come out and the surrounding communities have come out, and they have made a difference for this family.
Well, this has certainly taken an emotional toll on this community, and I know it's probably taken an emotional toll on you and Corey as well. Been covering it all week long. You've done a fantastic job. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Officer Scotty Hamilton, Unit 111, ended his duty with the Pikeville Police Department on March 13th, 2018. He was only 35 years old.
Well, we were blessed with absolutely beautiful weather across the mountains today, and you can see that in this time lapse from UVA Wise. You can see we saw a few clouds throughout the day, but we were mostly sunny, especially as we headed into the afternoon hours, and we've been dry all day long. That remains the case this evening with Pinpoint Doppler showing clean sweeps as we scan the skies over eastern Kentucky, but for the beginning of the work week, that will not be the case. Now, temperature-wise, it's been a nice mild day across the mountains. We topped out in the upper 50s to low 60s, and that's where we are still sitting right now, so a really nice evening to get outdoors. As we go through the rest of your night, we have a cool, calm night ahead of us. Our clouds are going to increase through the overnight hours as temperatures fall into the low 40s. Some might dip into the upper 30s, but I mentioned it will be a cool and cloudy start to your Monday. Then as we go through the day, we could see a few spotty showers early on, starting to pick up a little bit as we head into the afternoon and evening as a warm front makes its way closer to eastern Kentucky. But then Monday night, as this low pressure system and warm front really start to work through the mountains, you see that rain really pick up. Seeing all these oranges and yellows here, we could see some rather heavy rainfall and a few thunderstorms as we go through Monday night. But then that's going to push off to our east, and we'll still see a few scattered showers throughout the day on Tuesday, but I don't think we're going to see any rain quite as heavy or any thunderstorms. But you'll notice as you look off to the west, some blue showing up there on future view. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we could see some of that rain change over to a mix of rain and snow. Now, as far as the thunderstorms for your Monday night are concerned, it looks like here in eastern Kentucky, we're just going to be dealing with some run-of-the-mill springtime thunderstorms, but there is a risk for severe weather down to our south and west, mostly for the central Tennessee area, but we'll keep a close eye on that and make sure none of that severe weather is expected to creep into our region, and we'll bring you updates throughout the day tomorrow on that. But right now, it looks like we'll be dealing with just some heavy rainfall and a few just run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Now, I mentioned we do have some snow in the forecast as well, despite the fact that Tuesday is actually the first official day of spring. We will see that rain change over to a rain-snow mix Tuesday night as those temperatures fall into the 30s, and then wintry mix primarily consisting of snow is possible on and off throughout the day on Wednesday. Now, we will clear things back out for your Tuesday, get a little more sunshine in here, but it is springtime in Kentucky, so more rain is just around the corner. Showers return to the forecast Friday night and continue on and off into the day on Saturday and possibly into your Sunday as well. The good news is, aside from Wednesday, the week ahead looks fairly mild with temperatures in the 50s and 60s for most of the week. We'll be right back with a look at sports.
This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
All right, Kentucky fans, the Cats are advancing to the Sweet 16 after Saturday's win over Buffalo. A lot of that win has to be credited to the growth in defensive play for the Wildcats. It's been a constant theme as of late, going all the way back to the start of the SEC tournament. And the players know that they need to continue that if they want to see the Elite Eight.
Our identity is defensively, so that's the first thing we focus on going into every game. We know that if we shut down the other team, we are capable and we have enough talent and enough sets to score as much points as we want. And we just go into every game trying to lock up the other opponent.
So again, we still have to wait and see who the Kentucky Wildcats will play. They will play either UMBC or Kansas State. We do know that the game will be down in Atlanta, and it will be on Thursday, March 22nd. The time has yet to be determined. We will keep you updated on our website, WYMT.com. Speaking of that UMBC game, people are still talking about the history that was made on Friday night with that upset win over the #1 overall seed in Virginia. The Retrievers take on the 9 seed in Kansas State, and head coach Ryan Odom knows the high of that upset now needs to turn into a focus for that next game.
We got to focus here. It's, the biggest thing is do you want to be done now? Or do you want to, try to put your best foot forward and continue on? Because we're playing an excellent team, all right, that easily could dismantle us. And we've got to do a great job of focusing, just like we have every other game that we've played this season, all right, to put our best foot forward to have a chance.
So the Cinderella UMBC team takes on Kansas State in just under an hour. The game is set to tip at 7:45. You can watch that game on True TV. That's it for sports. Steve Hensley will join us again here in just a moment for some final thoughts on an emotional day in Pikeville.
Welcome back live to downtown Pikeville, where the sun will soon set on a day this city will not soon forget. You know, earlier in the week, I mentioned a quote, and it bears repeating tonight. Washington Irving once said, "There is a sacredness in tears. They are not a mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and of unspeakable love." Many tears were shed today across this community and across the mountains, including some from this reporter. We end tonight with a look back at this week's events through the words of Pikeville native and our WYMT Assistant News Director, Kyle Collier. Good night, everyone. As daylight faded into night Tuesday,
it's with a heavy heart the city of Pikeville has announced
it was hard to imagine what the next day would bring. A cloudy, snowy day.
That Officer Scotty Hamilton was shot and killed tonight in the line of duty.
Flags flying at half-staff. Still a chill in the air. When winter turns to spring, new life blossoms, but not this week.
So when you hurt one, you hurt us all.
No, instead death took a man so many cared for, loved, respected.
There's a strong bond with fellow law enforcement officers.
A man admired.
Everybody looked up to him. I myself looked up to him.
A pause Wednesday afternoon brought sorrow.
Lord, we come to you today and we ask you, oh God.
A procession no one hopes to ever see.
I hope they will remember that he was such a great family person and that he was just such a great leader.
A fallen hero honored.
I want people to know that Scotty was a fine young man, a fine city police officer, one of the best.
As time pressed on, our community came together.
Comfort their broken hearts on this cold and sad day.
Prayers going up everywhere.
I did it to honor him. He deserves so much more.
But our compassion will not allow tragedy to define who we are, what we are as one. Still, most of us sit wondering why. Answers likely will evade us.
We're thankful for the great turnout that we have tonight.
But now you've heard of Officer Scotty Hamilton. Here he is in high school, full of life. Again, a little more than 5 years ago, embracing his wife. And again, this time with his baby girl. He was passionate about his job, right up until his final call.